This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And the road trip will take us to our nation's capital in Nationals Park. Tonight, game number 1, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Washington Nationals. Welcome to our St. Louis-based studios. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer, Jim Edmonds. Jim Hayes is here, and I'm Dan McLaughlin. Cardinals need to win some series, Jimmy. They need to get the offense going. It's either a lot or a little. It was a little yesterday.
Yeah, it was a little yesterday, and it's been a lot and a little, like you said. It's feast or famine for this offense, and that is not a way that you're going to get out there and win series, and that's the name of the game. Look at the difference in the runs per game. And lately, I don't even know if they've gotten 2 runs in some of the losses.
So nearly 8 runs per game in those wins. Couple runs in the losses. That's the average. And tonight they'll turn to Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, and this guy is now the ace of this staff. Opening day, pretty decent, but not so great. But he is starting to pick it up a little bit. Clearly, everyone needs to pick it up. But you're going to start seeing these starters probably go a little bit deeper because of their arms are getting in shape, Danny.
The series begins tonight in our nation's capital. The Cardinals and the Nationals coming up on Bally Sports. Cardinals and Nationals from Nationals Park in Washington, where it is 62 degrees. It's game number 1 of the 3-game series. And with the Cardinals Hall of Famer, Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. Washington won 2 of 3 games at Busch Stadium last week. Their lone series win of the year. And over the weekend, they split a 4-game set with Arizona. The Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 to begin their road trip. The first pitch, a strike to Tommy Edman. Pitch number 2 swung on and missed. So Mike Schilt gets Joe Ross tonight. And he is unscored upon in 11 innings this year. Picked up his first win of the season. That was the day game Wednesday. He had 6 scoreless against St. Louis. And the 0-2 pitch just off the plate. Tommy Edman has been on base in each of the 15 games he's played in this year. And getting another start in right field. And that swung on and missed. And that's how we begin this series. Cardinal lineup with Tommy Edman at the top. Then Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. Yadier Molina, the switch hitter, Dylan Carlson moving up in the lineup. Paul DeYoung, Matt Carpenter, Justin Williams, and Jack Flaherty.
Find it a little different that they've kind of switched it up a little bit, but not too drastic. You can see kind of Paul DeYoung sliding down a little bit till he gets more comfortable, and then Dylan Carlson moving back up.
Paul Goldschmidt on the first pitch. Hits it out of play. 2 starts this year for Ross, who opted out of last season. Goldschmidt hitting just .237, but he has 28 hard hit balls, 3rd most in Major League Baseball behind Machado and Acuna. And hard hit is defined by 95 miles per hour or better.
Well,
tough luck.
Yeah, and sometimes you can have good exit velocity and not get anything to show for it, and sometimes you get jammed and lots of base hits.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. To your point, Jimmy, the Cardinals, if you look at the hard hit rate, it's 43.3% as a team. That's 3rd behind the Padres and Braves. So they're hitting some balls hard, but just some tough luck along the way. And the 1-2 pitch missed on the outside corner. So the numbers on Goldie this year through 14 games. The 2-2 pitch. Hyundai pitch arsenal on the right-hander Joe Ross.
Well, you can already see the velocity is up there in the 95-96 range. 2-seamer, sinker, 4-seamer, changeup and slider. I'm going to go with, if you're the hitter tonight, everything's pretty basic. Now you have to find out, like I found out last night, is he going to have late life, which the players were talking about, in the fastball, and what is making him different than everyone else with just a fastball, changeup, and a slider.
2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks. Davey Martinez defensively. His alignment, the former Cub in left. That's Schwarber. Robles was a finalist for the Gold Glove in 19. Juan Soto in right. Castro, Turner, Harrison, Bell along the infield, and Yan Gomes is behind the plate. Here's Nolan Arenado. And the first pitch taken for a ball.
And you can see right there, Danny, that slider is tight, and he slings it. It's almost literally out of that same arm slot as the fastball, and it doesn't look like you're seeing much of a dot or anything. It's just hard and breaking right out of the hand.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals traveled from Philly to D.C. by train yesterday, we are told, and that was set up by the great Ernie Moore, who is celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday to Ernie Moore.
Happy birthday, Ern Dog. I've never got a chance to ride the train.
It's fun. Ross calls for it, takes it. Cardinals go quietly. Jack Flaherty to the mound for St. Louis. And there is no score. Season stats this year for Jack Flaherty. Flaherty gave up 1 run on 3 hits, 5 innings against the Nationals last week. And a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Well, we all know Jack Flaherty, obviously good 4-seam fastball. When he's down, he can spot it. Doesn't throw a lot of 2-seamers, although his ball does run. I think he throws more 2-seamers than we think. And then the breaking ball, the slider, which is nasty, and not a whole lot of changeups.
Nationals lineup: Trey Turner at the top. He's a good one. Then Juan Soto. He's a really good one. Josh Bell, Kyle Schwarber, Josh Harrison. It's a veteran lineup. Some big names: Starlin Castro, Yan Gomes, Victor Robles, and the pitcher Joe Ross.
I mean, if you're a baseball fan, that's a good lineup right there. That's not a lineup that, as a pitcher, you say, how am I going to get through this? But that's a lineup that you say, I've got to make my pitches, and I've got to stay in this game for at least 7 out of the 8, 9 guys.
There's Trey Turner. I know we talk so much about the free agent class of shortstops coming up, and rightfully so. There's great players that are going to be available potentially. No one really talks about Trey Turner, and this guy is a terrific player. Now, he was quiet against the Cardinals last week, 2 for 12, struck out 4 times. Yesterday, had a 2-home-run day against the Diamondbacks, and the .953 OPS, when we showed you the lineup, it was OPS, on base plus slugging. That .953 leads all National League shortstops.
You know what I really like that what he's done, and this is probably just natural progression as a player. When he came up, he was just a speed guy and a good shortstop. I feel like he's made himself a better hitter. He's got a little bit more pop. And you know what I can't believe, Danny? He's 27 years old. He's already got 2,200 at bats in the big leagues already. Came quick.
What do you think it takes in terms of numbers where you say, okay, this guy is settled in? It used to be give him 1,000 at bats in the big leagues and you kind of know.
I think everyone's different. I wish that it was that easy. I think it depends on a lot. I think it depends on your team that you're on as far as your veterans, because that helps a lot. Your hitting coach helps a lot, and your manager. So I think a lot of guys can get it a lot earlier if they're playing for certain guys. Like I had Rod Carew, and he was in my face all day, every day, and he taught me a lot. But I didn't understand what he was actually teaching me at the beginning, because I wasn't seeing visually what he wanted me to see. I was just a raw hitter. then I started getting it and figuring it out, and then I was like, oh, that's what he's talking about.
Sure.
And, you know, it's not as easy to hit as what they're telling you, but when Tony came around, made all the difference in the world too, because then I thought, okay, now I can apply what I've learned at the plate with how he's pushing me right now.
Yachty took that foul ball, it looked like on his throwing hand on the fingers, and no surprise to see him staying in there. Shaking his head, nodding in approval, saying I'm all right.
Not happy, but all right.
And puts that hand now behind his back.
Isn't that the second time in the last couple of weeks that he's taken a ball off the hand a little bit right there?
Cardinals defensively tonight. Williams in left, Carlson in center, Tommy Edman again in right. Arenado, DeYoung, Carpenter, Goldschmidt on the infield, and Yachty behind the plate. Round the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. So that ball that Yachty took off the hand, and the hand that was exposed,
it wasn't really exposed. Look where it's at.
It was behind his back and then came up. Ouch.
Well, and that thing too right there, you think about like the quarterbacks, right? You see them throw a ball and hit it, the helmet, and you're like, oh, that had hurt a little bit, and then they fracture a thumb. That's kind of where he hit it. Like that had to only hit his thumb, because that's the only part of his hand that was sticking out. Pretty sensitive area, I would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, let's hope he's all right.
Well, he's going to be one of those guys that he's going to stay out there until he just can't do what he needs to do. Yeah, that was right. You can see his hand is even behind his leg. It just hit the perfect angle. We're going to need the behind the catcher cam now.
Wow. Well, he says he's all right. He stays in the game. And the batter is Juan Soto. Went 6 for 12 last week. 3 runs batted in, 3 runs scored. It's amazing is the fact, and I talked about this a lot last week with Brad. He takes a lot of pitches. His understanding of the strike zone at this age. He's taking 63% of the pitches he's seen. That's 4th most. Like right there.
You know what I like most about him? The fact that I think he's so young and he understands already. So he's spread out. He's got good balance. He doesn't have a long swing, and that's why he can take a lot of pitches, because he's just down there ready to hit.
And a ground ball into the shift. DeYoung is there. I mentioned it last week. I said his stance, to an extent, reminds me of you in terms of how spread out he gets.
He is kind of a little bit wide like that. You know what? He's wide and he's low, where I kind of try to stand up with my upper body. I think he's wide and he still gets a little stride, but I'll tell you what, for the old school guys, he's hard to watch hit. But for the new school guys, this guy is the cream of the crop hitting in this league.
Why old school, new school?
I think that he just rubs some people the wrong way with the way he watches pitches. But you know what I think is funny is, I think when he rubs you the wrong way, the more you get upset, the farther he hits the ball, because you get out of your game.
He did something with Waino the other day where he called time.
Yeah.
He stepped out.
And didn't he hit like a breaking ball off his shoe tops into center field that was just like almost an impossible pitch to hit?
Yep. Little things to disrupt the timing as Bell hits it out of play. Cardinals really were aggressive with Bell with fastballs last week.
Yeah.
The first 2 pitches here are fastballs.
Yeah, I think that his swing has slowed down, or he's gotten a little loopy, and that's why Pittsburgh kind of let him go. But I still think this guy's a good player.
And the 0-2 is slider taken down. 1-2. The one victory last week for the Cardinals was the 14-3 game. It was that huge offensive outburst. Carpenter homered. Ooh, just off the plate. Yachty thought he had it. Flaherty had 6 strikeouts, no walks, but 3 ball counts on 8 of the 19 that he faced. And that's why he only lasted 5 innings.
And he's usually right there around the plate. If he keeps throwing that pitch, he'll get it. It's that pitch that hurts him. It's the pitch that he can't get, and he tries to make it too nasty, especially with 2 strikes, and he can't get it close enough to the plate to get guys to offer on it. The thing is with that is everyone knows it's coming, so you have to make it look like it's going to be a strike.
And the 3-2 pitch. Ground ball. Gloved by Arenado. Ranging to his left to make that play. 1-2-3 go the Nationals. There's no score. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Here's Molina. Be interesting to see him swing the bat after taking that foul tip off his right hand.
That would be his top hand, yep.
Great start, 340 the average with 4 home runs. And he has driven in 20 on the year. And Yadi lines it to short. The catch made by Turner for the out. 4 up, 4 down to start this game for Ross. Well, the Cardinals moving up Carlson to the 5th spot in their lineup tonight.
Just a little juggle. Try to get something going.
He has seen the 18th lowest percentage of pitches inside the strike zone in all of baseball.
You know what else too? Think about all the scouting reports and the advanced scouting. Well, Yadi just had really good week, and so maybe trying to protect him a little bit with a left-handed hitter might be part of it.
Same pitch, 0-2.
It's almost like a hard changeup right there, wasn't it? See his hand, he even had a grip like a changeup, almost like a 3-fingered fastball. It's like 90 miles an hour. A pitch before I think was about 95.
Well, the Cardinals, their offense has just been either a lot or a little. Going back to the first game of the Washington series last week, 2 runs. Game 2, 14. Next game shutout. First game against the Phillies, 2. Saturday, 9. Yesterday, shutout. It's just been up and down. And the slider taken just low.
Saw that stat earlier today about the losses and the wins, but I remember looking at a note yesterday, I believe. I don't think I have it today, but if you took away the 3 innings that they scored a lot of runs, their offense has been really minimal. Like, it basically is down 2 or 3 runs a game, but they're not all losses. They're just, you just take away those 3 big innings, and now they're only scoring 3 or 4 runs a game instead of 5 or 6. Don't really see that very often, because not with the talent they have.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Missed in.
Tell you what, this guy is around the zone, isn't he?
Yep.
His drawing, like little spray chart's going to be like lots of dots just right around.
And the 2-2. Tapped foul by Carlson. Cardinals are 7-8 through the first 15 games. They've had a tough time just being able to finish a series off. 1-4 so far. 4 chances to win a series heading into the rubber game, and they're 0-4.
See, that was pretty cool right there. I don't know if you're paying attention, because I know you were looking down also, but he's got a 4-seam fastball in his hand, and he literally ran through every pitch behind the plate except for the fastball. See the ball in his hand right there, and he's got a 4-seamer. He doesn't have the 2-seamer in there, so he's going to try to keep it straight.
Back to him. Underhands to Bell, and there's 2 away. So the first 2 have been retired. Download the MLB app to get in-game video, highlights, live pitch-by-pitch breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your Cardinals.
I think that's pretty interesting on a lot of fronts right there. He's calling his own game, which most do, but some can't. And what he was doing right there is he didn't want to throw the 2-seamer that ran back for the ball, because the thing with pitching is it's really hard to throw the same pitch twice. That's why the game's so hard. So what he does is he throws the 2-seamer in there and runs it back, and if he doesn't get it, it's really hard to make a better pitch than that. So you don't want to throw the 2-seamer again, because if you miss, it runs back all the way over the plate. So he threw the 4-seamer in there and tried to tie him up, where maybe he thought it was going to be a ball, and it just stays right there.
Down the left field line and gone off the foul pole. An absolute rocket off the bat of Paul DeJong. His 4th home run, and it's 1-0 Cardinals on a solo shot here in the 2nd.
Well, hopefully we get a really nice replay of this, and this is kind of a great replay. Look at the swing. It is nothing other than staying back, pulling your hands in, and hitting the barrel. For all you young kids out there, talk about all the time, you don't swing hard to hit home runs. You swing right. You balance, you hit the barrel, and you get extension.
There's Carpenter, and strike 1. You always hear about the 3 true outcomes, and number 1 in baseball right now, strikeout, walk, or homer, is Paul DeJong, as he just passed Javi Baez. Last time a Cardinal had the 3 true outcome percentage above 50 was 1999, and that was Mark McGwire. He also had 65 home runs.
Just throw him out. I remember, I don't know, is at the end of Mark's career? I think it was right before he retired. He had like 11 hits over a span of 3 months or 2 months, and every one of them was a home run. Do you remember that?
I do.
Or it was like 5 or 6, but he hadn't gotten a hit. He was hitting like 150. His knee was killing him, but every hit was a homer.
Well, he was the ultimate weapon off the bench. Couldn't have a bigger threat than Big Mac. Pinch hit for by Kerry Robinson.
Which was sad was he was really a knowledgeable and good hitter.
0-2 pitch. Taken down and in by Carpenter. Last 30 plate appearances, Carpenter's average is .069, and that is the bottom of Major League Baseball. Trying to change that here. And the 1-2. I'll say this, I give Carpenter a lot of credit yesterday. He was on the post-game Zoom, and that would have been very easy for a veteran to say, no, not doing it. Media's not in the clubhouse. He said, look, I'm struggling. I got to get it going. I could be better. But he was there to answer some questions.
He's never not been, and that's what's, you know, I mean, you got to give him a lot of credit for that. He's having a hard time. Things are not the way they used to be, and it's not easy at this level.
Home run by DeJong, and it's 1-0.
Paul DeJong, his 4th, and the Cards lead at 1-0 in D.C. Jack Flaherty seems to be getting sharper as the season moves along, and Mike Schilt loves what he's seeing from Flaherty. Schilt told me before the game that he's seen progress from Jack in each start this season. Schilt said he's commanding the strike zone more consistently. He's been able to work in his curveball, and that's a nice change of pace for him. It keeps hitters off his slider, which has been pretty effective for him. Mike also said Flaherty's fastball has had real life to it the last couple of starts. Dan, Mike would like nothing better than to see Jack go deep tonight.
First inning, I thought that fastball had a little extra life to it, as Jimmy's talking about, so maybe he will go deep.
And you know, the starters on this team have to get deeper into the games. I mean, that's just no doubt. Or these bullpen guys are going to be looking for some help.
Cardinals bullpen has thrown more innings than the starters the last week, 7 games. 5th fewest innings from the starting pitchers, 5th most from the relievers. As Schwarber rips it into the glove of Paul Goldschmidt. .111 off the bat. Well, the defense so far has been positioned perfectly on these plays. You had the shift on Soto, Bell, and then this one with Goldie right on the line.
I don't even know how he hits this ball that hard. That ball is like in off the plate.
And a fastball taken outside by the former Pirate Josh Harrison.
Wow.
He had 6 hits in 13 plate appearances, a couple of walks last week against St. Louis, and batting .455 overall, 10 for 22.
Look at his hands right there. Isn't that interesting? How separated his hands are.
We noted that the other day. It's not really quite Kevin Youkilis, but there is a separation.
Youkilis used to pull him down. Why? I mean, he stays there. Look at Youkilis used to slide his hand down like some people have that golf swing where they kind of put the top hand over the bottom hand, whatever, just a little bit. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone stick with it that whole time. I wonder if Paulie's worried if his shoulder's going to come out of socket after that catch.
It's a good play. And it's popped up, calling for it, Carpenter. And he makes the catch. And the batter is Starlin Castro. So 2 outs and nobody on, 5 up, 5 down. Castro hitting an even .300 with 1 home run. He's driven in 9.
Wasn't it you last week or whatever said that it seems like this guy's been in the league for 20 years? He's only 31 years old.
He's got over 1,600 career hits.
He's got, I was just looking at his stats too. He's got 5,800 at bats. 31.
He's had over 200 hits in a season before. Age 31, closing in on 1,700 hits. Active players. Jack Flaherty, by the way, is 1 strikeout away from 500 in his career. And a ground ball to short, chopped to DeYoung, and that is 6 up, 6 down for Flaherty. Coming up, Williams, Flaherty, Tommy Edman, 1-0. Make sure you help Cardinals Care raise funds to benefit children in our community. Purchase a 50/50 raffle ticket. Must be in the state of Missouri at time of purchase. Visit cardinals.com/5050 for tickets. Could be in for a pitcher's duel here tonight. Both guys have been sharp early on.
And you know what? Both guys are kind of similar if you think about it.
Yeah.
Just without looking at their bodies and exact arms stuff, but the ball down, a little bit of movement.
That's hit the other way, and a base hit for Justin Williams.
Sharp sliders.
He's got a little pop going the other way, doesn't he?
He has that little bit of a longer swing where it's got to take him a little bit to get generated. So yeah, pitching him out there like that, you're giving him a chance to kind of get that swing going, and the extension is insane, and that's when you get to see the exit velocity.
So the runner at first is Williams, and now Jack Flaherty. Cardinals starters coming into play tonight combined a .212 average against Ross. Runs could be tough to come by as Flaherty does get the bunt down. Harrison covering the bag at first, and the sacrifice is good. Well, Jimmy, we were talking about this before the game. Your Toyota key to the game.
Well, manufacturing some runs, and that is kind of the idea right there. Get somebody on, move him over, maybe get a double, move him over, drive in a run with a sac fly, get some walks, cut down on the strikeouts, put the ball in play, and figure out how to be a little bit more consistent each and every night.
Here's Tommy Edman, struck out his first time up. Shift on the right side. Williams, the runner at second base. Crossed him up, but somehow Gomes holds on. He was waiting for that thing to cut, and it never did.
It looked like a boxer getting hit. Look at him. Wow.
That's a great play.
I don't know how he kept that in his glove. I think that might have been a changeup and not a slider, because without a slider he might have broke his wrist. I've actually seen that happen. Guy thought he called a slider and he threw a fastball, and it's hard to see, and start to ride the slider inside to a lefty, and all of a sudden it hits you in the wrist. And I don't think they're on the same page right now, so you might want to go out there before you get a broken wrist. Hey, we're talking about first sign after 2, right? Not the first sign. Somebody hurt.
Tommy Edman just played in his 162nd game. And so through a full major league season, a .283 average, 17 home runs, 64 runs batted in, and 20 steals. Well, you take that from your leadoff man.
Jeez. Guy to come out of nowhere.
Made his debut June 18th, 2019. 2-0 pitch. 3-0.
Well, this is kind of interesting right here. I know he crossed him up a couple of times, but really throwing that 2-0 fastball a foot off the plate with these two guys coming up next. Kind of interesting.
You know what else is interesting?
I think I'm rolling it up there for Edman to hit right now, so I can get an out before the bombers come up. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Lifted in the air. Left center. Robles back. Looks up. Gone! It's a home run! And a frustrated fan. It was there for him to have a souvenir. It's not only a 2-run homer, he missed the ball.
What do you think he's more mad about, the homer or not catching it?
Both.
That is a great at bat by Tommy Edman right there.
3-0.
This is what we talked about last night. You got to swing the bat. When you get a guy that throws balls like this and you get a count that you can be aggressive in, go for it. That's the worst that can happen. And, oh, that's why he's mad.
Flip the glove. I brought my glove to the ballpark.
Hit the tip of his glove.
Ah, beautiful.
I love it. What in the heck?
Mm-hmm. So a 3-0 St. Louis lead. I was about to say with Tommy Edman, in those numbers I gave over the last 162, average home runs, runs batted in, stolen bases, there's only 5 other players that have been better in those categories combined. Turner, Story, Marte, and Acuna.
Danny, check this out right here. Oh.
Yeah.
Throw your hat.
Yes.
That reminded me of some little boy that was behind the home plate one day when we were doing a game. Except for he couldn't put his phone down fast enough.
Here's the 0-2. I mean, do you think about it, Jimmy? You're at a pretty big ballpark. You bring your glove. You're going to have one shot, probably. And it was right there for the taking.
That is, I just love the reaction.
That is launched out to left, back 2 back. They've done it again. Back-to-back homers. They did that twice on Saturday. And for the first time tonight, back-to-back home runs, Edman and Goldie.
I looked down for a split second and I heard the noise. And when you said something about a drive, I almost said, well, it's gone, isn't it? Pretty good contact right there. And that is Paul Goldschmidt at his best right there. No movement, solid, good swing, barrel, homer. Put the bullpen guys in the game. He didn't miss that, did he?
The kid did again. Broken bat, hit to third, eats up Castro, and they still get him. It brings in Molina. Nice pick by Bell. Not noted for his defense. Good play here. Here's Yadier Molina. I'm still worried about that hand.
Yeah, you know what? Swinging the bat in this situation for him and hitting a ball is one thing. Swinging and missing is a different thing, and that's when you get all that torque in the hands, and that's when you'll feel it more.
It's almost swinging one-handed right there.
Yeah, it's tough to catch up. That's why I think he seemed like his swing was a little bit shorter the first time around.
And a strikeout of Yadi. Fourth tonight for Ross. Tommy Edman on a 3-0. 2-run homer. Right after that, Paul Goldschmidt adds up to a 4-0 lead and some frustration for a fan. T-Mobile coverage cam in Washington at Nationals Park. Boy, Peterson right now is not happy. Back-to-back home runs. Goldschmidt and Edman.
Is that going to be their thing this year? A couple years ago it was pinch hit homers.
Now back-to-backs.
Now back-to-backs.
Tommy Edman, Ryan McMahon, Whit Merrifield, and Jose Ramirez. The only players this year that have homered on a 3-0 count. And the 1-0 pitch. Ball inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Yan Gomes. 6 up, 6 down for Jack Flaherty to start his night. And the 2-0. Outfield basically straight away, shading him a bit right center. And that's a strike, and it's 3-1. Good pitch.
Look at the spot right there in the strike zone, and that's where he's so effective, is he can throw that pitch a lot, and that is a tough pitch to hit, especially above 92, short arm, and if you keep throwing that pitch, they're going to bite on the slider. It's got to stay down.
3-2 pitch, fouled back.
Isn't it amazing how he stays? He can, when he's on, he can stay down there on that line, in and out, and he can just stay there all day. And it's like I said, the only time he struggles when he loses his command, obviously, but he tries to make that slider too nasty, and it tries to get you to swing and chase and miss instead of just kind of maybe getting a little closer to the zone, make guys go after it a little bit more.
Swing and a miss, and strikeout number 500 for Jack Flaherty in his career.
There's that slider right there. I think it's a little bit interesting too, Danny, as much as you watch the slider to the righties. He throws them on both sides of the plate.
He does.
And
yep.
he'll zoom them away and miss. Slider to the lefties, though, he throws down and into lefties all the time. And that's, I think he gets caught up in that little spot right there. He doesn't have a place to aim. And so he buries it more sometimes than he wants to.
Victor Robles settled in as the everyday center fielder for the Nats. Had a triple last week against the Cardinals. Take a look at our Kia player profile. The youngest to reach 500 strikeouts all time. Ray Sadecki, Dizzy Dean, Steve Carlton, and Jack Flaherty. 3-0.
And you think about, I think it was Jack that we talked about last time too, about just a pitch here and there, right? Wasted pitch here and there. And sometimes they're on purpose, sometimes they're not, but they start to add up. And when you overthrow or when you try to get too many chases, talking about now at 40 instead of 35, I can already count maybe right now 5 that, and it happens, but 5 for sure pitches just weren't even close to the strike zone. And that's not something I'm dogging on him. Those are the things as you get older, you realize that, okay, maybe I'd try not to throw so hard on this pitch, or maybe I just more location on this pitch because I'm 1-0 instead of, you know, missing with the fastball up, overthrowing that fastball right there.
And Robles is punched out thanks to the first base umpire. Wow. Cardinals may have gotten a gift. We'll see here. Yes, they did. Wow. Strikeout number 501 in his career. Davey Martinez going all the way down the dugout to scream.
What do you do there? I mean, that's really bad.
So here is Joe Ross.
And I think too, if you think about this game in general right now, the thing that we're talking about with Jack is just part of the game. But think about Joe Ross. His first inning, bang, 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 all around the zone, bang, bang, gone. Next inning, miss a pitch here, or 2 innings later, miss a pitch here, get behind 3-0, miss a pitch here. You start to back off a little bit. Next thing you know, it's 4-0.
Ross into center field. We saw on Wednesday he could swing the bat. And the first Nationals hit from the pitcher, Joe Ross. It turns out to be a huge
I see that swing.
Strikeout of Robles, as Ross didn't even take basically a full swing.
That's why he's laughing. Pretty good contact for taking a half a swing.
Trey Turner, and a strike. Struck out looking back in the first on a low strike. Didn't like the call.
That's the slider that I love right there. That Jack throws so well. Part of the reason being, I think, too, is when I was playing lefty-lefty, I always thought if a guy could throw his slider for a strike, I was going to be in trouble, because that was the one pitch I had trouble hitting from a lefty, because it's really hard when you don't face a lot of lefties to be able to stay on the hit the fastball and stay on a good slider. So my philosophy was basically look fastball, take slider. And if the guy threw breaking balls, then you could start to see the ball hop out of the hand, so that made it a little bit easier on you. But that good slider is tough to stay on.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Turner. The slider outside. Would that be an example of what you're talking about a little bit?
Yeah, well, I like that. What I like about that was I think that was his breaking ball, and he threw it, and he threw it hard. So he's playing with something right there. Maybe not wanting to throw another slider for him to kind of flip out there. But yeah, I think this is the transitional pitch right here. Like, this is the pitch you have to make either swing or strike out. Can afford to go 2-2, 3-2 a lot.
2-2, and it's pulled foul.
I think sometimes guys don't just understand how good their stuff really is. And so when they try to make it nastier, it's tough to keep it in the strike zone. And you know I love this kid as much as anyone. I think he's one of the better people around. Been through a lot. Great family. Got a chance to meet his mom a couple times. I mean, just a quality kid with everything going for him.
2-2 the count. Runner at first is Ross, and a fastball hit out of play.
96.
I think his fastball has been good. I noticed that from the beginning.
He's almost right by you right there.
Two. Cardinals are 3-0 in the starts that Jack has made this year. Opening day in Miami last week against the Nationals. Anybody else starts, they are 4-8. Pitch number 10 of the at bat right here. And the 3-2 will be delivered in just a moment. Opening day in Cincinnati, his fastball velocity was right around 92. Since then, it's been around 93, 94. He's hit 96 tonight. That's lined out to left, and Justin Williams is there.
I was going to say, hopefully he catches that ball. That outfield was so deep.
Jack picking up strikeout number 500 this inning. "4-0 Cardinals," and St. Louis has had 3 home runs hit tonight, including back-to-back in the second inning. That was Paul DeYoung, and then back-to-back in the third. Off the foul pole for DeYoung, that's his 4th, RBI number 6. Tommy Edman swinging on 3-0. 2-run shot, his 2nd of the year. And that was followed by Paul Goldschmidt and his 2nd home run this season. Back-to-back. 4th inning rolls in. It's Carlson, DeYoung, and Carpenter for Mike Schilt.
I really love that home run by Tommy Edman for more than one reason, but just the fact that he is getting comfortable enough to swing 3-0. That's incredible, especially at a guy's age like that, where he's still kind of bouncing around, playing different positions.
First pitch here in the 4th inning to Dylan Carlson, taken for his strike.
He's got some nasty movement.
Here's the 0-1.
Thank you.
There's an article today, longtime columnist in the Washington Post, and it got right to what may be ailing the Nationals this year. It said the Nationals bet big on their veteran aces and won. They may or might be finally paying the price. And they're talking about the fact that Steven Strasburg was put on the injured list. We saw him make the start against St. Louis. That's off the knee of Dylan Carlson. John Lester remains on the coronavirus related IL. They have had some issues with Patrick Corbin. We'll see him tomorrow. And the mainstay, at least early on, has been the guy on the mound.
Well, this is the worst case scenario. I'll take it.
It's been awfully good. And now Carlson is hit by the pitch.
One in the knee, one in the elbow.
May have gotten him on the pad. And it brings in Paul DeYoung. Maybe
Right
above
it, right?
Yeah,
I thought it
on
was
the
above it
forearm.
the first time.
Pitch count at 50 for Ross. Carlson, your runner at first base. "4-0 lead, trying to generate maybe some offense. But the Cardinals want to do some running here.
I don't think this is a bad time for it, to be honest with you.
Maybe even a hit and run. Back in safely. And Bell telling his bench, make sure you take a look at it. Ooh, did you see how his hand got around that tag? Watch this.
It looked like he pulled. Yeah, that's what I thought. He knew he was out.
Oh,
it's a great slide by a young man right there.
Ooh.
You know you're out when you're right there. Just wait. Actually, I don't know if he even did it on purpose. He just couldn't get to the bag, but looks great.
So no challenge from the Nationals. And the 1-0 to the Cardinals shortstop, who is homered tonight. 4 home runs, 6 runs batted in this year. Fastball and a strike. Well, Ross came in unscored upon in his last 11 innings. The 11 innings to start the year. It's been some good takes by the Cardinals of hitters tonight. A lot of those pitches are ones that are tempting or borderline.
Well, he's got good stuff, and they're doing a nice job of trying to lay off that slider. And the next thing you do is you try to make sure that you don't chase the fastball inside as a righty, because it is just not hittable. If it's sinking into you, the ball's going to end up being off the plate and way inside.
First homestand, the Nationals allowed 5,000 fans. Tonight could be an upwards of right around 10,000 at the ballpark. 2-2. That's the pitch right there. I mean, he has been right on the corners just about every pitch.
And it's just like a ball and a half off. Tell you what, certain umpires, we'd be in the 7th inning already. These two pitching, big strike zone. We'd be going pretty quick, and there would be no runs and no hits.
Carlson, the runner at first, 3-2 the count. Dylan not running, and there's a ball outside. First walk handed out by Ross. First 2 have reached here in the 4th. Discounted tickets for you. 8 or more gallons of gas at a participating station using the My Phillips 66 app. Get up to 50% off Cardinal tickets. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66.
I think I need to start doing that. I feel like I'm buying 8 gallons of gas every other day or more.
I'll do it at Phillips 66.
Gonna work my way to it.
Get your tickets.
In case you need some extra seats.
Yeah. Just because you're a Cardinals Hall of Famer doesn't mean we're going to be handing out your
That's
tickets.
why I was asking you about carpooling today.
I'll start picking you up. There's a strike to Carpenter, who struck out back in the second.
I'm starting to lean towards an electric car. It's getting really close. Been wanting to do it, but it's getting about that time.
You're ready, huh?
Yep.
Carlson hit by a pitch, then a walk to DeYoung. So 2 on and nobody out for Matt Carpenter. Pulls it foul. And it's 0-2. And Carpenter rips it past the shift into center. Carlson will score. Matt on his way to second, thrown out. But Dylan Carlson scores to make it 5-0. Cardinals are going to take a look at the tag to see if it was indeed applied. But Matt Carpenter beats the shift on a hard hit ball.
That's about the same pitch he took. The first pitch. A chance to get it again. Didn't miss. We got there. Little swim. Pretty good slide. Good swim move there, Danny.
Yep. He takes a chance. Gets thrown out at second. Jim Hickey is the pitching coach. He's out to visit. DeYoung wound up at third. I don't know. Where are you in that base running play?
Well, I don't know, to be honest with you. You don't like to see you give. I don't like to see you give outs away. And I thought he was clearly going to be out from the get-go, but well, I'll tell you what.
He might be safe.
I think Carp did a nice job right there, and that's the art of the slide right there. Is hard to do, and he might have got around him, but I don't want to run into outs, but I'm not going to pull back on hustle. The good news is you got a guy at third with 1 out. Now, as you're running from home plate to second base, that's not your thought process, and you might get lucky when you end up that way, but that's the worst case scenario. I'll take it right now.
I guess if you're Mike Schilt, you're up by 5 runs and you're saying
better than down by 5. Oh yeah,
you know
the challenge. I know it's I still wonder about that every day. Watch these games, wonder when the challenge is important, when you should save it.
That's yanked foul. Watch out.
Ooh.
Off that side netting. Hard hit ball from Williams. And a count of 1-1. 1-2. Williams singled to left and scored. 2-run homer by Tommy Edman. 5-0 our score here. Infield in. It's a good take.
Yeah, and that's talking about Greg Maddux the other day. That's the Greg Maddux right there. Throw a fastball in there. And when you can't pull the trigger, you know you're beat. So the pitcher knows you're beat. So make it look like that fastball again, because you think he's probably going to be cheating for it, but give him something else to hit.
The 2-2. Flaherty on deck.
You throw that fastball in there again, the hitter's ready for it. That's why you throw that slider make it look like the fastball coming out of the hand. You're hoping that the hitter thinks same thing. He's going to throw me another fastball in there because I couldn't get to it. Just a really good take, like you said.
3-2 pitch. Another good take.
Wow.
Similar pitch inside. So 2 walks in the inning. So runners at the corners for Jack Flaherty. Got down a sacrifice his first time up. Middle infield is back, the corners in. And the first pitch, bunts it foul as Bell comes up short.
Well, that was almost a fair ball.
Very close.
So much weird stuff going on here the last couple days.
It's right on the line there.
I would love to see that from a different angle on the line. I'm willing, fair foul, I'm willing to bet that ball is within centimeters of being foul, if it was even foul.
And a strike there. Remember, that is the home plate umpire's call on that play. It's not reviewable.
Where did I see the other day where the runner at third was in foul territory?
Justin Williams.
It was our game.
Yep.
And the ball was clearly
he was almost on the chalk of third base in foul territory, then came
that was
over.
A weird call. I think that would be a really tough call to manage as a umpire, because how do you know how far fair and foul he is? And he wasn't in fair even close, but the ball was like right on the edge, and it's where the ball is, not where he is,
and it's not reviewable.
That was the key. Yeah, you got to, running down the line at third base, especially with a right-handed hitter, you got to be a little bit inside that line. You can't be that close where they can even make that determination.
Flaherty gets the bunt down. It is fair, and a run will score. With 2 strikes, gets the bunt down to score Paul DeYoung. So Flaherty helps himself.
That is a really nice job by Jack Flaherty right there. What I like also about Jack Flaherty, he takes that serious right there. He bunts in practice. He works on stuff like this. And this is just a great job. He stuck with it.
5th career run batted in for Flaherty.
I would love to rewind that whole at bat. I try to tell people all the time how easy, it's not easy to bunt, but when you get down in there and you do it all correctly, it's really easy to see the strike zone. And so you can get down there and pull back. And you can pull back super late like he did the pitch before. You just have to do it correctly.
Williams a runner at second. Tommy Edman, and a strike. You know, one of the things about Tommy Edman, we were talking the other day, how well he has handled the adjustment with a changeup. You're not seeing him swing at a lot of pitches out of the zone, and you're not seeing him strike out nearly as much as he did a year ago.
Well, he had a tough day yesterday with that changeup.
But we've seen improvement.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that go back that night, think about it, start over, come out. It almost looks like he's got his bat in a little bit different position tonight, but gets a head in the count, gets a 3-0 pitch, and blasts it into the stands.
For a near souvenir.
For a little guy that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, he will take a hack early in the count.
Six nothing our score here in the top of the 4th. And the 0-2 off the plate, 1-2. Pitch count getting up there now, 73 for Ross. Swing and a miss, and Edman strikes out.
Nasty.
5 strikeouts for Ross. Flaherty and the Cardinals on top 6-0. 6-0 our score. Cardinals with 5 hits in this game. Both teams have left a runner on. And Jack Flaherty will pitch here in the home half of the 4th. He's 13-0 when the Cardinals have given him 5 runs or more of support. And he enjoys a 6-run lead.
I think this is the one guy right now that you have to be careful with, because I feel if this is the guy who can ignite the team, and I'm not saying pitch around him and walk him, I'm just saying I don't really want this guy. If you're really thinking deep inside this game, it's 6-0 4th inning. I don't want this guy to hit a home run to ignite this team.
He is over his last 10, 3 walks and a sac fly. Just the 4th time in his career that he's gone hitless in 3 consecutive games. So it doesn't happen very often. The 2-2. One of the few players with 2 strikes will choke up, as you see right there. Not a lot, but just enough. Flaherty to Soto.
That was like a little cutter right there, like overthrew a slider. Tell you what, it would be nice to be that good and have that much fun all the time.
Do that with Yachty behind the plate.
He's just having fun, man. Look at him. He's talking to Yachty.
They did this the entire series last week. Talking. 16-year age difference.
He's going to talk no matter who's back there, but I'm sure he has a lot of respect for Yachty. Probably wants to talk to him either way you look at it.
3-2 taken low and a leadoff walk. First walk issued by Flaherty. Well, we have a moment. Registration now open for the Cardinals virtual 5K presented by Bally Sports. Register at cardinals.com/5K. There's Josh Bell grounded into the shift. So the Cardinals with Arenado in at the shortstop position and 3 infielders on the right side. Now this kind of goes with what you were talking about before, where you have his swing is not catching up to fastballs and you go up and in. He could hit one the other way.
I elevate him though, and we watched last night with the fastball out of the zone and the breaking ball and the slider and changeup.
That's what I'm talking about.
I elevate there. And I got to elevate in, and I got to make him think about in so I can throw him the breaking balls. You can't continue to throw him fastballs out there because his swing is a little bit long right now.
And that's what I'm talking
about.
Yet
he's going to catch up. He reminds me a little bit of the way Justin Williams swings. Eventually, they're going to get you out there. And that's what we're talking about as far as like the long part. And you see right there, he's not really trying to hit that ball to left field. He's just hitting it that way. Very similar swings in those two guys. But I think that's something, you don't play these teams enough, and that's something where someone's got to say, other than just, you know, hey, this is how we get this kid out and he's been around for a long time. You got to watch. You got to get a little closer to, he's still not swinging correctly. Let's try to get him up and in. He's not been pulling a lot of balls. Sure, if you make a big mistake and you throw too many fastballs in and then you leave one out over the plate, he's going to hit it. But just get the ball in there. Don't let it run back. Throw the four-seamer in there, not the two-seamer.
Good pitch elevated there.
Well, look how low he is this year right now, and that's another thing too. You see guys trying to get down in there, trying to work on hitting the pitches that are down. Look how down low he is right now.
Well, he has changed his
stride.
stance. And you picked up
Changed
on
a
it.
lot of things, but the one thing about that is, watch how low he starts, but look where he gets to swing. He has to stand up a little bit, and that changes your eye level. I think what he's doing is what I did. He's trying to get a little bit less movement at the beginning so he can pick up breaking balls and not swing at those pitches. That pitch gave him trouble all the time when he's with the Cubs. So yeah, he's going to miss some fastballs and be behind a couple pitches here and there, but he's not going to swing at that pitch anymore. And I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to be more consistent in the zone. Oh, you just got to elevate. Just like that right there. He's no stride now. He's not trying to do too much. He's got so much raw power. It's crazy to me. Still only 28 years old.
He's one of those guys, it seems like he's been around.
2 years with the Cubs organization is enough to make you crazy and think he's been around for 6 or 7 years.
Schwarber is 0 for his last 7 with 3 strikeouts against Flaherty. Outside corner, struck him out. Good pitch. Strikeout number 4 for Flaherty. Yachty's been doing that a little bit more this year, where he'll go down on that one knee, get a little lower.
And what he's trying to do is get that ball at the bottom of the zone where he's not going down for it. I like the fact that he'll sit out there a little bit past the outside edge, but he'll put his glove by the plate. So he wants you to aim for his chest, but when he catches it, he wants to be able to push it into the plate a little bit more.
Nationals in their just completed 4-game set with the Diamondbacks had frustration with that crew, and maybe that's bleeding over a little bit to tonight.
I mean, has Josh Harrison's hands always been that?
I don't remember it like that, separated, no. Picked up on it last week. That gets away from Molina. And the Nationals will score their first run of the night.
It's unfortunate right there. I didn't get a good look at what happened to Yachty. Ball just sailed on it, but it looked like they had a chance to make a play at the plate. Oh, he sure did too. He just didn't catch it.
Arenado is back at third. Middle infield is back to Young and Carpenter. Goldschmidt off the line for Harrison. That's a ball low.
Now, what we're talking about with pitch count, look where it's at already.
71.
And you're only in the 4th. Where are we at? 50 in the 3rd. So A lot of pitches. Last half of an inning.
It was a wild pitch charge to Flaherty. Swinging on 3-0, down by 5 runs. Why not?
Why not? But the voice of Rod Carew, if you're going to swing it 2-0 and 3-0 fastball, you better be on time. And if you're going to foul it off, you better foul it off on the pull side. That means you're expecting something and you're being aggressive, not being late and trying to flip it something the other way. I'll just throw that same pitch right here. So worst that's going to happen is it's a base hit.
3-2 pitch to Harrison. 2 walks in the inning.
See that right there, Danny? What'd you notice about that most? 97.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's overthrown it a little bit.
He tried to do a little bit more.
I was going to say he's trying to cook it. And while we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Did your favorite song move you a little too much? Hey, it happens. When it's time for a breather, you can turn your debit card on or off right from your phone with the Great Southern mobile app, all without missing a beat.
Mike Maddox with the double claw there on Jack Flaherty.
That's a double slow down and relax.
You got it. So runners at first and third, and Starlin Castro the batter. Starlin Castro grounded out to short first time up. Well, with the pitch count getting up there, you do wonder about a quality start. Cardinals tied for the fewest with 1. Boston and Pittsburgh. That was Flaherty back on the 7th. Dodgers, by the way, with 10 quality starts to lead all of baseball. Lined into right. Catch made by Edman. Bell will tag up and score. And it's a 6-2 ball game.
I think maybe the words of Mike Maddox might have been, hey, you got 75 pitches. You got a 6-run lead. Throw strikes. Make him put the ball in play. And let's get out of this inning.
The batter is Jan Gomes. Struck out back in the 3rd. That was career strikeout number 500 for Jack Flaherty. So 2 outs and the runner at first. Broken bat, slowly hit left side. Arenado force play at second. Nationals get on the board. Cardinals with the lead, and it's 6-2. We head to the 5th at 6-2. Tommy Edman on a 3-0 pitch, 2-run homer. He went back-to-back with Goldschmidt. Paul DeJong is homered as well. Starters both have gone 4 innings thus far. And Paul Goldschmidt leads it off. Goldschmidt, Arenado, Molina. 6-2 our score. Top of 5 from Nationals Park in Washington. And the first pitch is strike. Home run for Goldschmidt was just his 2nd of the year. He has driven in 6 on the season. One ball and 1 strike. The 1-2 pitch. Goldschmidt whacks it into center for a base hit. His second hit tonight. He's 2 for 3. Arenado is popped out to the pitcher and grounded out to third.
See that at bat right there by Goldie. You know what that reminds me of? This guy's got such good stuff, but he keeps throwing the same pitches over and over. He's got the fastball that runs in off the plate. Most of the time it's a ball. Fastball starts away, comes back over the plate. The slider is just down and away. So you just kind of sit out over the plate and just pick one that you can handle. You start to see guys like this over and over. You start to kind of understand that everything's coming out of that same slot. But if you don't try to do too much with that fastball that's coming middle in, everything else starts to get a little bit easier to see and a little bit easier to time.
Arenado looks at a strike.
Does that make sense?
It does. Well, it's a little bit like a pattern, what you're talking about, too.
Give you a bat, ready to go.
Not a chance. Joe Ross pitching here in the 5th. His older brother Tyson pitched in 9 games for the Cardinals back in 2018. That's lifted out to left field and over the head of Kyle Schwarber. Goldschmidt to third. Arenado to second. And the Cardinals have something going here. How about his extension and how he goes down and gets a ball, Nolan Arenado?
I love when he goes down like that and gets it. Uses his legs. Doesn't try to do too much, and that barrel just gets extended right there, like you said. But back to what I was saying, right? You see this guy a lot. He's got great stuff, but the slider's always in the same slot. The fastball is in 2 different areas, so you got to pick one. There's really nothing else out there. There's no big breaking ball that's going to straighten you up, stand you up. There's no really good changeup. So when you start to see that, as good and as electric as this stuff is, it starts to see like easier. Okay, I see that one. Okay, I see that one. Okay, there it is again. There it is again. And now your comfort level is just like, I'm going to look out here and pick one of the 2.
And Molina on the first pitch hits a fly ball down the left field line. Schwarber gives it a look and out of play. Yachty seems to me to be swinging compromised at this point after taking the foul ball off the right hand in the first inning. It's kind of almost a one-handed swing.
Yeah, but and that's more or less just sore and bruised, hopefully. And he's not going to come out of the game just because it's a little tender.
And he's good enough to cheat and figure out ways to get a base hit.
And to be honest with you, after a while, unless it's really bad.
Grounder off the glove at third. Goldschmidt in a rundown back to third. Arenado is hung up and on purpose trying to stay in the rundown to get Yachty to second. They'll tag out Arenado, and a heads-up play by Nolan to make sure that he wasn't in the rundown for a short amount of time. That allows Molina to get to second base.
Terrible job by the catcher, Yan Gomes. He did a nice job keeping the runners there, but he forgot about Yachty. You got to get out quick. Okay, so you run him back. You know he's out. Okay, good. Just run right there and get Nolan right away. What is he doing here at third base? And now Yachty's just cruising along. I think he just kind of got lost right there. It's a really nice job by Nolan to stay there, but he just got to run him back. I think he was really concerned with maybe there was no one covering the plate.
Just going to say that. I don't think anybody was.
But I don't know if I'm like looking like he's not really gonna. Goldie's not really just gonna run away from him right there. The pitcher's still kind of straggling behind, but that was a bizarre play. I think he just forgot that Yachty was there.
But if he commits to go get Arenado,
but you're not
I'm
talking
not sure
about,
who's at the bag.
You're not talking about Harrison Bader running at
well,
third.
That's true too.
All I'm saying right here is, yeah, see, he's at the plate. So all I'm saying is, why is he worried about him? Do you know what I mean? He's just letting Yachty, as slow as can be, just jog right into second base. And so what do you got now? 1 out with guys on second and third, where it could have been 1 out first and third, and you have a chance for the double play.
Here's to Young. First pitch swinging, popped up to the right side. Bell giving it a look and out of play. Nissan drive of the game off the foul pole. Paul DeJong with his 4th home run and his 6th RBI this year. He's also walked and scored, and a golden opportunity here for the Cardinals. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the 0-1 pitch. DeJong cranks one deep left at the track, at the wall. Grand slam! Grand slam! Paul DeJong. They intentionally walk Carlson, and DeJong makes him pay.
Being aggressive, staying close, got a fastball up. I told you he's either going to throw the fastball in off the plate or he's going to throw one middle away. It's going to run back, and that one ran right over the plate. Probably with just enough power and really nice contact right there. That swing is changing for the better every day.
The 2nd grand slam hit by the Cardinals this year. Little hop. Yep. Thank you very much. He's driven in 5, and that knocks Ross out of the game. When the Cardinals score, they come in bunches, and it's happened here in game 1. It's 10-2 St. Louis. Finnegan is the new pitcher in for the Nationals. With 1 out, nobody on, and the Cardinals with a 9-hit attack, 10 runs against Ross. Boy, baseball is funny. Last week he is shutting down the Cardinals, and tonight they put up a 10 spot on him. It's our Chevy call to the pen.
I don't think he thinks it's funny tonight, but
no, probably
we
not.
I think it's funny. It's a funny game.
There's Carpenter. And the first pitch is strike at 95.
And I'd love to see him start swinging at that fastball. He's been getting a lot of fastballs.
Team's going right at him.
First pitch strikes. Well, if you have the reputation of having a good eye, taking a lot of pitches, so guys will just start going after you, and then once you get ahead, they know you're struggling, and then nothing but the kitchen sink comes next. And if I'm hitting, I got to go, I don't want to hit any of that stuff. I just want to hit the fastball. This is what we talked about with Bader over the last couple of years, right? Takes a lot of first pitch fastballs, and you struggle a little bit with the slider, so you got to be more aggressive early. And Harry, I know you're listening, and I'm only saying this because we talk about this. I'm sure you're listening, but it's the key. If you have trouble with certain pitches, like I had trouble with the slider, I didn't want to swing at it ever. So I wanted to hit the fastball. And if you threw a slider, I was in trouble. So I know that's not my pitch. I know it's coming, so I don't even want to get that far into the count.
Third time in DeJong's career that he's driven in 5, and in that at bat, to your point, got a fastball, got a slider, then a changeup.
And you got you get fastballs to hit. Not every pitch is a fastball to hit right down the middle away, something you're looking for. And we don't all know exactly what the release point looks like, and it might jump on you a little bit more than we think, but still have to be up there ready to hit a fastball. Goes back to what Russo always talked about with pinch hitting. Be ready to hit right now. And I think you have to take that into the game when you're struggling a little bit.
There's Justin Williams, a single to left and a run scored, walked in the 4th.
I faced Randy Johnson, and I knew he was tipping his pitches. And to be honest with you, I wasn't trying to hit a slider. Why would you, right? So I'm looking for a fastball, and I'm trying to hit it and get out of there before I get killed. To be honest with you.
Sure.
I don't want a fastball over my head, and I don't want to have to hit a slider.
And the 0-1 pitch. Here's the 0-2. That changeup taken low. It's a type of game as we play here in the 5th. Pitch count right around 80, 75 pitches for Flaherty. Got to get 2 more innings out of him.
Like to, for sure. But now going back, what I said at what, 4th inning? I counted 5 pitches. Well, how many do you think since the 4th inning he's gone? Wait, it was in the 50 range, right? Or 40 something range. And now he's, let me look at this closer. How many more pitches do you think he could have wasted by just overthrowing or just trying to get a really nasty pitch? And I'm going to say at least 10 or 12. And like I said, I'm not picking on Jack. I'm just saying that's part of the maturing process in this league, is knowing when to make those pitches and knowing when to challenge people. And it's funny that pitching coach comes out, grabs him by the shoulder, and what does he do? He throws 3 fastballs and gets 2 ground balls, and it jams the you-know-what out of one of the guys, because he has that kind of stuff.
The 2-2. Cardinals have hit 4 home runs tonight. DeYoung with 2 of the 4. Flaherty, by the way, at 77 pitches through 4 innings. 3rd game this season, he's received double-digit run support. Cincinnati twice against the Nationals. That's fouled back by Williams. And Williams smokes one out to center. Gone. Wow. Wow. An absolute rocket out to center. And I'm not sure if that's the fan that dropped the first home run attempt or his father, grandfather. No, it's him. He got it. Yes. He got his souvenir. It's him.
I love the math.
Awesome.
4-seam fastball. Back to the pitching thing, right? 2-2 fastball. He tried to overthrow. Got him to a 3-2 count. It's a big lead. What are you thinking? This guy's got to throw me a fastball. He just hit a line drive right at that guy's chest.
I was saying earlier,
he didn't even have to move.
You're not going to get another one. He got it and made the catch.
And he didn't have to move. He's literally still standing in his seat.
Oh, that's awesome.
So is the 109-mile-an-hour line drive that Justin Williams just hit. Wow.
It's one of the hardest hit balls of the year. A 5-home-run night. And what a change of fortunes for that fan.
Danny, the kid just stands up in his seat and the ball hits him in the chest.
Yeah, and now he can't feel his hand. That was awesome.
On the replay, as I'm watching it, he literally stands up and the ball's right on top of him.
So
great.
Earlier in the game, if you're just joining us, the young fan there on the right had a potential home run ball that he missed. He threw the glove, threw the hat, and he was upset. And I said, boy, it's tough. You may not get another chance at it. He gets another chance at it and can't feel his hand now.
His hand's shaking.
Thank goodness he
You
caught
made
it.
the highlights for 2 different reasons.
He didn't catch it.
That's why he was afraid of the first one. Realized he couldn't catch it in the web.
That's awesome.
He's moving his hand around worse than Yachty was, and he got hit in the bare hand.
Well, he's got an older glove, so I'm not sure there's much padding there. There's a strikeout of Flaherty. What a night at the ballpark for those two. Earlier, throw the glove.
Watch this.
And
He
now
just-
a rocket into his glove. No big deal. He's got it.
Paul DeJong, the grand slam, his second homer of the night, 11-2 Cardinals in D.C. The Cardinals have a few guys on the IL. One of them apparently is about to make his return. Mike Shildt saying Tyler O'Neill is hopeful to be back on Friday when the team opens up a 7-game homestand. O'Neill is dealing with a groin injury. He's eligible to come off the IL on Wednesday, but they want to give him a couple extra days. Harrison Bader dealing with a forearm issue. Shildt says he was scheduled to take his first live BP today, and Harrison is back to throwing from distance. And Shildt says Miles Michaelis threw a sim game yesterday, just fastballs and changeups, no breaking stuff. Miles is still a ways away from a return, but Danny, there is a lot of progress.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. The best in the business right there. That's the cat ball game.
I saw him. He was working hard when I ran out to get a drink of water. He was down there digging on his computer, getting his notes ready.
First pitch swinging and a fly ball into right. Sliding catch, Tommy Edman.
There he is again.
No big deal. Although if that ball got by him, it might have been an inside the park home run. Robles can fly, but Tommy Edman comes up with it. Jordy Mercer, the former Pirates shortstop, pinch hitting.
So let me get this straight right now. At this time, this moment, the Washington Nationals have 3 of some of the better players that the Pittsburgh Pirates had over the last couple of years. 3 of them.
Bell, Harrison, Mercer. Yeah.
I think the Nationals were smart.
Ryan Harper throwing in the bullpen. And the 0-2 pitch. Mercer lines it into the gap in left center. Cut off by Carlson. And he'll hold him to a single. This is updated now through what we've seen today. 9 hits, 11 runs. The run support that Jack Flaherty has gotten, 38 runs, 16 for all the other starters combined.
If I'm not mistaken, I think a year or 2 ago it was the opposite. He wasn't getting any runs.
Correct.
But you're also usually battling the other top 1 or 2 pitchers from the other team.
There's Trey Turner, who's lined out to left and also struck out. Fans back in the stands, and boy, have we missed them. And tonight has been a great example as to why.
So they can catch and drop balls, and we can make fun of them some part. So
I'm not making fun anymore, man. He took that thing in like no big deal.
Took one for the team at the end.
Now, he may have gotten it in the palm of his glove and hand, so it'll be black and blue tomorrow, but he's got a story.
Perfect.
Good fastball at 94 by Flaherty. Now, normally, if we were there, and we aren't, we're in our studios here in St. Louis, the cat would be all over that.
He'd be sitting there right now.
Yes, he would.
Remember when what was it, the guy that took, he had him in the outfield for like 2 innings?
Yeah.
Left center field a couple years ago.
And a strikeout of Turner. And he was frustrated his first at bat, caught looking and had words with the home plate umpire. Fifth strikeout for Flaherty. And someone from the Washington side is going to get ejected before this one is over.
Yeah, and you don't want this pitch as a hitter. I don't care who you are, but this is a great pitch by Jack. And look at the way Yachty catches that. I mean, there's your strike. Yachty doesn't even flinch.
By the way, the exit velocity on the Williams home run was 109.2. His 9 hits this season are in the 96th percentile of Major League Baseball. 95 miles an hour or better on all 9 hits.
That's what he does best. He hits the ball hard. Now he just needs to get that experience and play a lot. Turn some of those into hits and homers.
That was a line drive that turned into a home run.
It was a missile.
Holy smokes. There's Soto, grounded out and also walked and scored.
I love that he's shaking his hand out there.
Well, that's when you know it's a hard hit ball. When a fan makes a catch and they, ow!
The funny thing to me is it looked like he caught it clean.
Oh, I think he may have.
It still
he didn't. There's no padding in the glove.
Yikes.
Outside to Soto. 2 balls and 1 strike. Josh Bell on deck. The most home runs in a game, if you're wondering. We still have a ways to go here. Cardinals hit 7 against the Cubs back in 1996. And there it's tapped back to Flaherty, and he flips it quickly to Paul Goldschmidt for the out. Cardinals with 5 home runs tonight of their 9 hits. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And by Jack in the Box. Go classic, spicy, or both with the new 50-50 popcorn chicken with ranch. Only at Jack in the Box. Jimmy, I'm so excited for that fan I can hardly contain myself. I'm serious. You come to the ballpark, you bring your glove.
You sit way out in left field.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, he probably has his glove too, because he's probably here for batting practice.
That's what I was thinking. You know, the gentleman with him, father, grandfather, whatever, has got a camera. So they're trying to have a special night at the ballpark. And you think, well, here's my moment. And I drop it. But then I get a missile off of Justin Williams and I catch it like no big deal. Awesome. I love it.
And we're
that's
going
what's coming to that. That's what makes going to the ballpark.
And we're going to Waffle House after.
You bet.
To celebrate.
Got to get that guy an endorsement deal. Here's Harper, who is into the game. But that's why you go to the ballpark.
Oh,
experiences
for sure.
like that.
I remember I was a kid and I used to run around Angel Stadium trying to catch a foul ball, my head cut off.
What?
I used to go to Angel Stadium when I was a kid and run around trying to catch foul balls like I had my head cut off, trying to run all over the place, chasing foul balls all over.
It looks like that gentleman's been to Mardi Gras too. You See, he's got the
To the beads. Just digging the face masks.
That's what we have missed. Fans back at the ballpark. Big curveball at 67 miles an hour. Tommy Edman, top of the Cardinal lineup, 11-2 our score. And Tommy hits it on a couple of hops to Bell. Harper to the bag, and there's one away. Add a Jack Buck statue to your collection. 10,000 fans entering with a ticket. Cards and Phillies, April 26th through the 28th. Take home their very own replica Jack Buck statue with voice chip, thanks to Ameren, Illinois. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Say it all the time, but there is nothing like going to the ballpark, especially that first time that you can remember as a kid. Not to get too sappy here, but it is special. Thing I've noticed about fans back in the stands, I don't know if you feel the same way. You've been down there as not a broadcaster, but going down to be recognized as a Cardinal Hall of Famer. But opening day, I was walking the streets around the ballpark. I could smell the hot dogs again. I could smell the food again.
Yeah, you know.
And I missed it. There's a distinct smell of the ballpark.
How about we? I did not go and set foot inside the stadium at all last year. Not one time.
I know. How weird was that for you not to be at a
whole
ballpark?
Year.
First time since you're what?
17 years old. Well, yeah, first time since I was any time as a kid.
Right. Look at that. 68 miles an hour. Goldschmidt retired. 2 outs. This game is about the players. It's not about us, not about the umpires. It is about the players on the field. That's why we tune in. That's why we watch. That's why we buy tickets. Love the game. But everything that is associated with the game, too.
Well, if there was no fans, there would be no game.
Yep. Nolan Arenado, double and a run scored. I would hope that that statement you just said is remembered by all in the game. No fans, no game.
Well, that's.
Keep that in mind. As
yeah, I think it's pretty clear as you play, but get older. But as you're playing, I think sometimes you can get lost in your own little world.
Keep it in mind when you think about the business side of the game. And I understand there's a business side to it, but ultimately keep the fans in mind.
Who was it that just had an interview that was talking about that? Was that Mike Schmidt?
Robin Yount.
Robin Yount, that's what it was.
Made me think of you. He
It
said
was Robin. Yeah, you know where I saw that? I saw that on social media.
it was a video. I want to say it doesn't really matter, but it was for the Hall of Fame. And he said the one thing that he kind of regretted was I didn't understand that fan could be coming to the ballpark for the first time.
Or the last time.
Or the last time. Or what that specific day, game, at bat meant.
Or how far did they travel?
I'll
tell you what.
If I was playing center, if I was playing short, it didn't matter.
Let's rewind. I want to tell you one thing that did hit home with me when I got here. When people like you and other people told me, and then I found out as I was speaking to people, how far people drive to come here for the weekend to watch Cardinal baseball, changed my perspective instantly.
Plan vacations.
I mean, I hated people Monday through Friday, but Saturday and Sunday I was like shaking hands with people because I knew they're from out of town.
Arenado with a high fly ball out to left. That'll stay in the ballpark.
But that resonated with me. That, and every time I went to eat, I would get a young lady that was a waitress would say, "Oh, we're going to be watching tonight." Wow, everyone's watching.
Cardinals with 9 hits tonight. Bunch of home runs, and they lead it 11-2. The difference maker, and what a difference a week can make. It was a day game that Joe Ross started for the Nationals. They took 2 of 3 against St. Louis last Wednesday. 6 innings, 4 hits. Tonight, 4 1/3, 9 hits. And a rare misplay for Nolan Arenado.
You know, it's really weird. That's the second one this year. And you know,
we're
we're
on the shift.
Both of them were in dead shortstop.
Yep.
Is that kind of shocking a little bit, the fact that how great he is to catch balls? And they've both been when he's been deep. Too much time to think about it. That is something you're not going to see very often. Danny, I want to say hello to the Kane family. Logan, Ashley, Aaron, and Kevin. They're watching tonight. Big Cardinal fans. And they're big fans of you, Danny.
Well, thank you to the Canes. Popped up. Foul territory. Carpenter with a nice play. Back to the infield. May 7th, 8th, and 9th. Rockies and the Cardinals at Busch Stadium. 10,000 fans take home a Cardinals purse courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. And don't miss out on this very popular item, the purse. Tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions. Here's Harrison. Pitch count at 94. This will be the final inning, more than likely, for Jack Flaherty. Into center field. Well hit. Carlson back. Can't get there. One hop over the wall. Ground rule double. Runners at second and third for Starlin Castro. That is a very big center field in that ballpark.
You don't see too many center fields that come to a point out there. How hard he hits this ball without really swinging at it. Right on the barrel. That ball just literally outruns Dylan Carlson.
Josh thought, man, that
triple?
Yeah. It's got to hit off the wall. Triple. Rattle around out there.
RBI, yeah. RBI more than the triple.
Here's Starlin Castro. Runners at second and third. Ryan Helsley is getting loose in the Cardinal bullpen. And strike one. I think the Waffle House needs to find that gentleman and offer him a free meal.
I had somebody send me a message and said, "What does that face mask say?" And it was a long time ago, so I finally saw it. I don't think I should have to tell them because we've said it 20 times. But
yeah. There's a ground ball. Arenado. He'll take the out, let the run score.
He wanted to throw that guy out
he
so
sure
bad.
Did.
As a good player, you never want to see your pitcher, especially when he's doing well, give up runs. I don't care what the scenario. I used to tell the outfielders, I said, I don't care what they say. If you get a ball hit hard enough and you think you get a shot, I want you to take that shot. And I want you to charge like you're going to throw him out so they'll stop him, because no pitcher wants to see an outfielder just sit back because he's winning 6-0. I mean, that's like saying, hey, if you get a base hit, I'm not going to run hard because we're already winning by 3 or 4. So the RBI. So I used to tell my guys, I'm like, don't let him score just because. Now, don't throw the ball over everyone's head and allow the runners to run in circles, but be aggressive and get your, take care of your pitchers.
Yeah.
Same thing there. You could see he looked, and he didn't have to look, but he wanted to throw that ball home.
Especially having committed the error.
Yeah, double.
This is Jan Gomes, who struck out back in the 3rd, grounded out, fielder's choice in the 4th, and he's 0 for 2. Pitch number 100 from Flaherty. Popped up. Molina giving it a look near the screen and out of play.
There you go. Another play right there. One of our cameras over there showing him, man in a military uniform making a play.
I love that.
He's not shaking his hand.
Lifted in the air, deep left. Williams going back at the wall, and it's off the wall. Run will score on the double by Gomes.
I did not think that ball was going to go that far. Valiant effort.
This is almost like what we saw in St. Louis, Jimmy, where the ball hits off the middle of the wall. Almost. We had it hit off the middle of the wall.
Hit him that time, but yeah, you're right.
It went over.
I still think, to be honest with you, because there's no way it's ever going to happen again. That was that one time we saw something. If the ball hits the fence and doesn't touch anything else, no player, no grass, no nothing, should be a homer.
And a base hit into left.
What's the difference if the ball hits the top of the wall and bounces over, or if it hits the middle of the wall with some English and then rolls over the fence? But to be honest, though, what changes that other than, I know the rule states, but no players touched it. It hit nothing else. It hasn't touched the ground. It hasn't hit the rally squirrel. It hasn't done anything.
It is odd. The middle of the wall is like an extension of the ground. And I know what you're saying, but if no one touches it, why would it?
How many times do you think that's happened in our lifetime?
Not many. Yeah.
0.
Interesting there. That was a one-sided conversation from Mike Schilt.
Well, I think he's also just making sure that he's feeling good.
Yep.
And hey, let's go. But what were we talking about? That inning, he got the attention, went out there and blew some fastballs and blew some guys up. Well, what were the last couple pitches that were hit? Were breaking balls.
Yeah. Jordy Mercer, he was a pinch hitter back in the 5th and singled. 11-5 our score. Andrew Stevenson is on deck. He would be hitting for Trey Turner. Or check that, the pitcher spot, which is Harper. Out of play.
Looked like a young Eric Burns right there.
A little bit.
Hopefully a little more calm.
The 0-2 in the dirt, kept in front by Molina. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The next by Jack Flaherty. Lefty Genesis Cabrera is now throwing as well. Trying to get one more out from Jack Flaherty. Pitch number 107, season high in pitches. Shallow center, calling for it. Paul DeYoung makes the catch. 11-5. Cardinals on top. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. There's Yadier Molina's second inning of work for Harper. Cardinals with an 11-5 lead. First pitch swinging, grounded to short. Mercer up with it, and there's one away. Budweiser, what's on tap? Adam Wainwright against Patrick Corbin. And Corbin has struggled so far this year. 0-2, 21 the ERA. Waino also 0-2, ERA over 7. So something's got to give. On the air tomorrow at 5:30. There's Dylan Carlson. Hit by a pitch, intentionally walked. He scored a couple of runs. And then after that, Paul DeYoung, who's homered twice. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 in that player's name to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
See how he's just feel like the results aren't awesome yet, but each at bat getting a little bit better and better.
Waits on it, sends a fly ball to short.
Except for that one, of course, I jinxed him, but
you got to wait on this guy because he'll flip up that slow
curveball.
Sure. This is July 24th of 2019. Paul DeYoung, not once, not twice, 3 home runs. Homered back in the second in this ball game. Walked and scored in the 4th, and a grand slam in the 5th.
I think that was Mercer at short in that one photo, in that one video.
A sarcastic cheer from the crowd. That first base umpire's been active tonight. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch floats up there at 68 miles an hour. He's doing, I mean, it's not just one time. He's done that consistently, flipping that up there that slowly.
And that's just hard to regroup. You're looking dead red and you got to sit back. It's hard to do both. You just hope he throws it deep enough in the strike zone. That's the same pitch. You just try to throw it harder and flattened out.
2-2 the count. Cabrera continues to throw down in the Cardinal bullpen. The 2-2. A swing and a miss, and it's time to stretch. Game summary in the Cardinals. Long ball aplenty. Tommy Edman on a 3-0 pitch. Went back-to-back with Paul Goldschmidt. Justin Williams, a rocket to center that left the ballpark. Adds up to an 11-5 St. Louis lead. Flaherty 6 innings. Cardinals will go to their bullpen now. Goldschmidt 2 for 4. DeYoung 2 for 3. Driven in 5. Ross went 4 1/3 after dominating the Cardinals just last week. There is nothing. I mean nothing. Like hearing from the cat. Jimmy, what do you have?
That guy. You know, the season just started. Jordan Hicks has already thrown 32 pitches clocked at 100 miles an hour or better. Jordan, however, is excited about getting to show off his other pitches, like the slider. He's been going more than just a standard 1 inning, and he loves it. He told me, I was a starter in the minors, and I was always dreaming about being a starter in the big league. So going multiple innings is fun, especially when you go out for that first inning and your stuff isn't there. The second inning helps sharpen my pitches. He said, I'm still learning, so the extra work really helps. And Danny Hicks has hit this season 103.1 miles per hour. So any concerns about losing something after Tommy John, they are long gone. That guy is fun to watch.
Jimmy, what else did you learn in your visit with Jordan Hicks? You had a nice visit with him on the pregame.
You know, one of the things that Jordan used his downtime, you know, when he was rehabbing and the pandemic and everything was shut down, was that, you know, he was diagnosed as a diabetic when he was 17 years old. So he wants to help younger kids that have diabetes and show them that just because you have that doesn't mean you can't do everything that other kids do. So he's trying to promote that. He's also working with a medical company that has come up with some apparatus that makes testing for these kids a lot easier, so it's not so cumbersome. And Jordan says now that he's sort of established himself as a big leaguer, his other dream was to use that platform to help other people, and that's how he's doing it. Really a remarkable young man.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Jimmy. Really good. Glad to hear that. There's Stevenson against Cabrera. Yachty getting beat up a little bit back there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Chevy called to the pen, the lefty. Elmer Fleer, 91 years young today, and watching Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports. Happy birthday to Elmer. The 2-1 pitch to Stevenson. He had a pinch hit home run against the Cardinals last week.
I thought that was a really, really good report by the cat. But I just want to let you know I had nothing but faith in Jordan Hicks, because I just went back to figure this out. But I remember last year doing a baseball game and watching him on his own website, and I just looked it up. September 26th of last year, he was throwing in a cage and he hit 99.9, throwing to another hitter. So long overdue, but he's been ready to go for a long time. That is good news. Gives you a little bit of sense of security when he not just shows up at spring training and you don't know what you're going to get out of that arm. And I think the moral to this story also too is he's a hard worker, and so he deserves everything that he gets, especially now after coming back from that.
Keeps himself in great condition. Pulled into right over the head of Tommy Edman. And Soto into second base, safe. Turned on that quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. At this ball, Tommy did a nice job right here playing this off the wall. And the ball did him no favors by hitting in the bottom of the wall, because that ball hits another foot up the wall. It 2 hops back to Tommy. It's probably going to hold him to a single right there or throw him out.
The switch hitter, Josh Bell. Runners at second and third. 11-5 our score here in the bottom of the 7th. Love to hear about players, as Jimmy mentioned in his report, using their platform to raise awareness for something close to them or to help kids specifically. It was nicely done by the Cat. Nicely done by Jordan.
It's easy to say too. It's hard to do, especially with the time consuming season and part of the job. I don't think people realize how much time is spent.
Well, I would
not
say
only
this
at
too.
the ballpark, but getting ready for the ballpark in the winter.
I think young players sometimes are hesitant because they're maybe feeling, well, I'm not established in the game. Let me get established as a player before I lend my name and my time and my efforts to a particular cause.
I'm with you on that one too.
And I can totally understand that.
I think social media has really changed the game for these younger guys.
No doubt.
So they can do it on their own and promote it their own way and don't have to worry about someone pushing them.
Fouled back by Bell.
He's got a shorter swing on the right side than he does on the left.
One and two the count. Swing and a miss. And he struck him out. 97 from Genesis Cabrera. Let's revisit the start for Jack Flaherty. Does get through 6 innings, but the 5 runs, only 2 earned. And 107 pitches tonight. What'd you think?
I think he threw great. I really do. I think I would love to see him kind of hone in on some of his pitches for his own benefit to maybe throw less pitches, but I thought he threw great. The only downfall for him tonight was 107 pitches, only 63 strikes. And so other than that, I give him an A. I don't know why I said that, but I'd always wanted to say that.
Well, you just did.
I don't think I've ever gotten an A in my life, so I wanted to give Jack one.
How were you as a student?
I was great.
You sure about that?
No, but I tried. I did try, especially after my dad made me sit out a session of all-star baseball when I was a kid.
That'll upset you.
Well, made me start to study a little bit more.
Yep.
I'm getting really close to having to do that with someone we know.
I bet. How does he hit that ball like that?
Because he's not moving. I mean, that is the one.
That may have hit him if he doesn't hit it.
That was going to hit him for sure. Well, not a real good angle here, but wow. When we were doing a game and someone hit a ball out of the stadium, pulled the ball one time to left field. That might have had a chance to leave right there.
Makes me think of Mike Laga, the only man that hit one out of Busch Stadium 2. Hit it out of the park. Literally out of the ballpark. Busch Stadium 2.
I saw Izzy hit a ball out of the stadium one time. No kidding.
BP?
Well, it was before BP. Out of the stadium. But it was a golf ball with a driver.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
Wasn't our best idea.
I bet not. Check swing, and he did go. So Cabrera allowed a walk, a double, and now gets back-to-back strikeouts, and the fans are letting the umpires hear about it.
I think for good reason tonight.
It's the second time Schwarber has been upset.
Good pitch. What that 88-mile-an-hour changeup. Sometimes I think the best changeups don't have any dip to them. They're just like a BP fastball, a little less than a BP fastball that just kind of just goes there and just it never stays on the plane. It just goes down the whole way.
And a fly ball out to left, and Cabrera is going to have a scoreless inning here in the 7th. First 2 reached, got the next 3. 11-5. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports is brought to you by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer, and by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Cardinals have out-hit the Nationals 9-7. They lead 11-5. Home runs hit tonight, 2 by DeYoung, 1 by Tommy Edman, 1 by Paul Goldschmidt, another by Justin Williams. Here's Kyle McGowan. Chevy called to the pen. He had 32 pitches in their game yesterday. Run him back out there. First pitch is yanked foul by Carpenter. Daniel Ponce de Leon throwing for St. Louis in their pen. And the 0-1 pitch. Yanked foul again by Carpenter. 0-2. 2 strikeouts, RBI single for Carpenter tonight. There's Daniel. Been a rough go for Daniel so far this year. McGowan actually appearing in his 3rd straight game. Might not be able to comb his hair tomorrow. 14 pitches.
It's kind of odd, isn't it?
32 pitches, and then tonight.
Did you say this was 3 in a row?
3 in a row. That's a lot of throwing.
I don't understand that at any level.
And it hit him. Hit the back foot of Matt Carpenter. Second Cardinal that has been hit tonight. The thing is, he's got a pretty good ERA.
He's got a 2 ERA so far this year. With only, I guess I'd say 4 innings pitched. So a lot of pitches in 4 innings.
Scott Hurst will come in and pinch run for Carpenter. So he'll go to the outfield, stay in the game. They'll move Tommy Edman back into second base. So Carpenter on base twice, and now Justin Williams. Have a day, Justin. Single, home run, a walk, and ball 1. 2 runs scored. Justin is very quiet, not a man of many words. He's on the Caravan with me a couple years ago.
That's probably why.
Oh, I teed him up.
Probably worried about you.
And that's to the backstop. Hurst to second base.
You have that intimidating personality.
Oh, yeah. You know it. Might be my favorite moment of the year right there.
That was a heck of a line drive right there. And a nice play.
And for our fans that didn't see it, earlier tonight that fan dropped a home run ball through his glove in frustration, got a second shot at it, and put it away.
Through his glove. And his hat. Don't forget about his hat.
I thought he did throw a hat. I'm not sure if he did.
He gave it a half throw. But he did not lose his Waffle House mask, which makes me think maybe it might work there. Maybe he already gets free Waffle
Maybe he
House.
does.
I just can't see walking around with the Waffle House mask if you don't frequent or you don't work there. Danny, the launch angle on that home run, 20 degrees. That's
That was it?
Yes. That
That
by
was a
far has
couple rows
got to be the
back.
lowest one of the year.
Wow. 3-2 here on Williams. Watch this. That ball is just smoked.
What's funny too, because you watch the outfielders, and you know sometimes when the ball's hit, when you can't get anywhere near the wall, so you just turn around early.
That is hard hit again. Race to the bag, and he's out.
But you turn around early as an outfielder waiting, and you have no idea where it is, when it's coming, or what it's going to hit, because you just know you can't get to it, so you give up. That one didn't hit anything. Look at these two. Been playing next to each other for years.
The rare 4-1 put out.
I like it.
John Nogowski a chance to add to the Cardinal lead. He has been used exclusively as a pinch hitter for St. Louis. 1 for 11.
All right, we're going to play this game again as these pitches are going, because I want to see John hit, but you got 109 miles an hour, launch angle of 20 degrees. How long do you think it was in the air? I'm going to save you the 4 seconds.
I was going to say 4 seconds.
But it's only a home run in 24 ballparks.
Really?
It was too low.
Yeah.
It is not a home run at Yankee Stadium, Coors Field, Kansas City, Comerica Park, I'm sure. Chase Field and Tropicana. That ball's going out of Tropicana.
I think it goes out of Chase.
That's like a helium.
You know, on Nogowski.
I think that the launch angle and the hang time doesn't do it justice. It's hard for it to travel 411 feet in the gap and not go out of every ballpark. I mean, come on, that's not the straight center field.
Right.
I was thinking Boston.
Well, that's what I thought with the monster. If it would extend that far.
That's not going out of Boston. It does.
Swinging on 3-0, play at the plate, and they got him. Second time the Cardinals tonight swinging on 3-0. The other resulted in a 2-run homer. Good play by Jordy Mercer. Well, you've had a 4-1 put out, now a 6-2. Tommy Edman 1 for 4 with the 2-run homer back in the 3rd inning.
Guy's got some wicked movement. See that ball come out of his hand right there?
Yeah.
It's like a wiffle ball. I wonder he's got a 2.0 ERA. This is just something you can't teach. This is like the most unbelievable God-given ability there is when you can throw a sinker that moves that much. And you know what's funny too is watching young kids play catch, you can see as like, oh, this kid's going to have a sinker someday. But that kind of movement is insane. Mike James sinker. When he was on, man, that ball used to go everywhere.
Tommy goes down to get it, and a base hit into right. Nogowski digging for 3rd. He'll be held up. And Tommy Edman with a double and a home run tonight. Down and into a lefty. And Edman hit it all the way to the wall. Cardinals offense behind Jack Flaherty. 4 starts that he has made. They have averaged 11 runs a game, given him 12 home runs. Their lineup is over 300, OPS over 1,000. So he's gotten plenty of offensive support in his starts. Here's Goldschmidt, who is homered tonight. Goldie, diving stop by Harrison, and a run will score.
Little play.
It saves 2 runs from scoring. 1 does score.
How about the pick by Josh Bell, too? Ball was hit hard.
3-hit night for Goldschmidt. Yeah, that is a nice pick there. So Harrison kept it on the infield, and that saved a run from scoring. 1 did score on the play. 12-5 our score. Top of the 8th. Runners at the corners. Nolan Arenado. And a strike. Arenado pops it up. Foul territory, Bell. Cardinals pick up a run, and it's 12-5. May 3rd through the 6th, Budweiser gifting 7,500 fans. Ages 21 and older. 10th Stein in the championship series, highlighting the Cardinals World Championship against the Yankees back in 1942. And get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Daniel Ponce de Leon into the ballgame. Starlin Castro to lead it off.
This is probably maybe one of the bigger surprises so far this year when you see that ERA. Don't know if I would have expected that.
Cardinals won that World Series in 5 games against the Yankees in 1942. Cardinals Hall of Famer Mort Cooper, MVP.
Is that the one you said you did for one of your first years?
No, that was in the
doing
20s. They had a nice run then too. No balls and 2 strikes on Starlin Castro, former Yankee. And a ground ball. Ponce to the bag and the out. First man retired here in the home half of the 8th. Yan Gomes, RBI double, run scored back in the 6th. He struck out and also grounded into a fielder's choice. Oh, hit by the pitch.
Yachty's reaction says it all right there. First of all, he knows that that ball slipped out of his hand or something's not right with him, but who does Yachty respect more than anyone in this world?
Another
His
catcher.
fellow catchers.
Victor Robles, RBI single back in the 6th. If the Cardinals can hold on, they go back to 500. They would be 8-8. The Nationals would drop to 5-9. Center field, Scott Hurst is there. And the batter will be Jordy Mercer. Cardinals like what they saw in spring training out of Scott Hurst, obviously, and that's one of the reasons that he's here.
I think he's another guy like Tommy Edman, right? You don't think much of him. You start to watch him play. And the more and more you watch him play, the more and more you're impressed.
Really liked his defense. Here's Jordy Mercer and ball 1. We're on the air tomorrow at 5:30. Bally Sports Midwest. Popped up. 9-pitch inning. Tommy Edman puts it away. It's 12-5. Home runs tonight, 5 of them. First one off the foul pole off the bat of Paul DeJong. Swinging on 3-0. 2-run homer, Tommy Edman. Paul Goldschmidt back-to-back. His second of the year. DeJong, a grand slam. And then a rocket off the bat of Justin Williams. Hernan Perez, we saw him pitch in St. Louis. Position player back out on the mound. 61 miles an hour to Yadier Molina. Perez just making sure. Is that out? Is that a little out? Okay, just trying to get that. Did you see that?
Say that?
Yes, he did.
You know why? Oh, he's been watching from the clubhouse all day. No, the strike zone's all over the place.
That's funny. He did a good job. The other time that he was in against St. Louis had a 1-2-3. I would imagine as a hitter, you know, you sit there and you lick your chops because it's coming in at 60 miles an hour, but then you're thinking, don't make it out. And that's a fair ball off the bat of Dylan Carlson down into the corner.
He's relieved, I can promise you that.
On his way to third and his first triple of the year. Perez, his 9th career pitching appearance. 8 1/3, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts.
It's like what happens if you strike out Dylan the time before. It's going to stretch it into a triple.
Well, this is a chance now at a 3-home run game for Paul DeJong.
You see what they're doing. That first pitch is like playing softball. Yachty was trying to launch. Dylan did the same thing.
And DeJong pops it up. Shallow center. Catch made. Carlson will stay put. Boy, Paulie wants that back as he's got 5 runs batted in this game. He's done that 3 different times. You would love to get that career high, but doesn't look like it's going to happen unless they bat around here. So Scott Hurst has a chance at his first big league hit.
Off a pitcher.
Position
Off
player.
a position player. I mean, yeah.
And the first pitch taken
I'm
outside.
going to go on a limb and say that's going to be the slowest one of the year. I was really good at softball. I would love to hit off him throwing like this. I know some guys, though, when I went home in the offseason, they would strike out playing softball because it was too slow.
Hurst lines it into center, and the catch is made. Scoreless inning. Hernan Perez. He's done it again. "12 hits, 12 runs, 5 homers hit by the Cardinals tonight. 12-5 our score. Hernan Perez will lead it off against Daniel Ponce de Leon. It has been all St. Louis tonight. Fastball and a strike. Perez pitching 2 innings, 1 hit. That was the Carlson triple. He struck out 2. Cardinals are the only team in baseball, by the way, to not play in a 1-run game this year. Feast or famine. That has been the case this year for St. Louis.
Well, at least tonight. Well, I guess in the 5th they scored 5 runs, but you know what I do like is they've scored a bunch of runs all night long. Scoring in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and the 8th. At least you're not seeing a team that scores some runs and then shuts it down, you know?
Which happens a lot.
It does. Up and down. Like ahead in the game and behind in the game. But you'd like to see teams get down early and crawl back, even if they lose, you know, still fight all the way through. And you'd like to see a team that's up 3-0 in the 3rd score 12 runs. So just got to be a little bit more consistent.
Juan Soto.
Easier said than done.
I think when you get those big leads, and you would know better than me, but the edge is off a little bit.
It's worse when you're losing. Because when you have a big lead, clearly everyone's hitting, and so it's kind of contagious. And I think when you're losing, it's worse, because then you're just, a lot of good players are just like, I'll get them tomorrow. I mean, there's players out there still battling, but you kind of really just, some guys shut it down. I remember playing in spring training one time, and we got down like 7-8-0 in the 1st inning, and half of our team hadn't even hit yet. We were on the road. Terry Collins, the manager, just said, "That's it. You 9 go." I didn't even get in a bat.
That was it.
He's like, "I know you guys don't care to be here. Spring training, get out of here." Put all the other guys in the game. The game ended up being like 14-15. That's why I call them the B-bombers, man. All those minor league guys come in and they're playing for their lives. Rightfully so.
Offense had really been struggling coming into play tonight. It scored in 3 of their previous 39 innings. They scored in 5 different innings tonight.
Man, I'd love to get my hands on Josh Bell.
You were saying that in spring training. First game we did, I think.
I still think he's got so much potential. I think he's just lost his swing. The fact that he still swings different, he'll have a different angle for different swings is what you like to see. But you can see that he's only taken a really aggressive swing at the ball away. It's almost like he knows he's already beat, and so he just goes out there. Like that right there, he's just not getting his foot down in time. There's no chance in the world, if I was pitching, that I would throw him a ball middle away.
Two and 2 the count. Yachty sets up outside. made the point earlier. It's a little bit like Justin Williams. Ball gets deep.
And then he lets it go.
Yep.
Just a different swing. But the problem is that kind of a swing, if it goes south, it's really hard to catch up. It means you're getting started a little late. Kind of trying to play catch up behind you. That's where you got to pitch him. And if you have a strike to give right here, you have to throw that same pitch with some spin on it. No chance. But you got to keep it in there.
The 2-2. Struck him out. And the Cardinals take game 1 of the series by the final of 12-5. They hit 5 home runs. DeYoung drives in 5, and the Cardinals are back to 500.
The positive for tonight was, like I just said, scoring in all those innings. 12 runs are great, 5 home runs are great, but just keeping the pressure on any way they can. That's a big win.
It's off to the post-game show. All around solid win for St. Louis. They take game 1, the final of 12-5. All the highlights, news coming up next.